좋아하는 일을 하며 자신만의 길을 걷는다면 얼마나 행복할까요? 빠르게 변하는 세상 속에서 교육은 내일을 향한 가장 가까운 첫걸음입니다. 한 걸음 먼저, 꿈은 더 크게. 지금 부산의 38개 직업계 고등학교에서는 배움을 넘어 꿈을 현실로 만들기 위한 학생들의 도전이 이어지고 있습니다. 내일의 날을 준비하고 있는 학생들의 힘찬 미래를 응원합니다. 이 캠페인은 다 함께 미래로 앞서가는 부산교육, 부산광역시 교육청이 함께합니다.
아직 어렵게 느껴지는 영어. 아이들 영어는 어떻게 챙기시나요? 부산 영어방송이 준비한 어린이 영어 콘텐츠 세상. VFM 키즈 영상 채널이 여러분을 찾아갑니다. 샘 해밍턴과 윌 벤저스 그리고 모모랜드 낸시가 함께하는 VFM 키즈에서 영어로 듣는 부산 설화와 전래동화, 재밌는 파닉스 영어, 신나는 K-팝 영어까지 만나보세요. 우리 아이의 영어 실력과 창의력을 쑥쑥 키워줄 특별한 어린이 영어 채널 VFM 키즈가 여러분을 기다립니다. 지금 바로 VFM 키즈를 검색하고 구독해주세요.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
We rarely report on celebrity news unless it's major. However, South Korea's entertainment industry is ending in turmoil as some of its biggest stars are engulfed in some serious allegations. From decades-old criminal records to embezzlement claims and even gang ties, the various revelations and allegations have left networks and producers scrambling and the industry on edge as we race toward the end of the year. Is there such a thing as second chances, or are some allegations or acts too much of a hurdle to overcome? Let's think about this. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Monday, December 8th on BEFM, 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you had a great weekend and are ready to begin our Monday morning with us here on Morning Wave in Busan. And so in the opening, I talked about the controversies engulfing the entertainment industry. We'll talk about that later in hour number 2. For now, though, we're going to turn to something much more local. Last Friday, the part-time and contract school workers across Busan, Ulsan, and Gyeongnam, they collectively launched a general strike. They join a line of workers across Gyeonggi, Chungcheong, Daegu, and Gyeongbuk, prompting schools to stop hot lunches or 급식 and offer alternatives. According to Busan Metropolitan City Office of Education on Friday, a total of 1,058 workers participated in the strike, including cooks and nutritionists. This is the ninth year. The ninth year that school lunch workers have gone on strike. And you might be wondering, why do we see this year after year? Well, on the surface, there are issues of, difficult work and not enough compensation. School kitchen workers get about 2 million won per month. That's around the minimum wage if you add it up. No wages during vacation. And as they are civil servants, it's hard for them to work other jobs. But the bigger issue is with health. In particular, with cooking fumes. In the last 5 years, 178 school workers received workman's compensation for lung cancer. And this means that the doctors and the government have acknowledged that, their lung cancer was at least partially caused by their job. So while this has been going on, some city and provincial education offices reduced the budget for ventilation systems in school kitchens. Any efforts to negotiate have been difficult as this involves all 17 metropolitan and provincial education offices. Under these circumstances, experts urge the Education Ministry to step in to improve their working conditions. And of course, the top priority is to make sure that our children are well fed, but it's equally important to make sure that those who are feeding the children at school are also working in safe conditions. And hence, we're covering this story. Well, now it's time for a text topic for this Monday morning, so here we go. I always remind you to drive carefully during our weather and traffic report, but what was the worst condition or scariest situation that you have ever driven in? Whether it be rain, snow, wind, if you were carrying massive cargo, or maybe you were behind somebody with a massive cargo, or this one, a pet peeve of mine, backseat drivers. 자, 눈, 비, 바람, 잔소리 많은 옆 사람. 내가 운전해본 최악의 컨디션은 this is linked to one of our stories in hour number 2, so I want to hear your stories on this Monday morning. Well, you can send them into BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM, 부산영어방송, to find our channel. You can subscribe, log in, and chat with other waivers. From your phone, pound 9050 샵 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free through Kakao Talk. So same thing there. You got to find us first, BEFM, 부산영어방송. And once you find us, our account, you can add us as a friend and then send in your messages and photos as well. The ways you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan. If you're in Busan, on the radio, 90.5 or 103.3 FM, depending on where you are. We're streaming live right now on YouTube. You can watch again at your leisure. We're available on the BEFM app and also the Patbang app. Easy to download, free to use. Looking ahead to our morning together. It is Monday morning. We have Now in Busan with Jian and Haley with top stories in hour number 1. And then in hour number 2, we also have Waglwagle Tea Time, profile check with Vasana. That's actually coming up in hour number 1. News in depth with Claire. That's in hour number 2. And then our special interview. Today, we are going to be going inside the whole e-commerce data breach aspect because, as you know, it's not just the coupon story. We're talking about basically the data breach, how that affects us, and, in terms of our detailed lifestyle and data, what ramifications could this have? We're going to find out in hour number 2. I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:06, and this is news overview. South Korea working on resuming inter-Korean talks. South Korea is making efforts to resume talks with North Korea, but is not considering using its joint military drills with the U.S. as leverage, said National Security Advisor Wee Sung-nak yesterday. Special counsel indicts former PPP floor leader over martial law role. The Cho Won-suk Special Counsel yesterday indicted former People Power Party or PPP floor leader Chu Kyung-ho on allegations of having played a key role in ex-President Yoon Suk-yeol's martial law imposition. President nominates human rights lawyer as chief state auditor. President Lee Jae-myung has nominated human rights lawyer Kim Ho-chul as a new chief of the Board of Audit and Inspection, known as BAI, the presidential office said Sunday. Over 100 billion coins stolen from Upbit. Around 104.06 billion crypto coins worth approximately 44.5 billion won were stolen from Upbit, the biggest South Korean crypto exchange, during a recent hacking incident. Japan says Chinese jets pointed radar at Japanese aircraft. The Japanese government has accused Chinese fighter jets of directing fire control radar at Japanese aircraft over international waters near the island of Okinawa. And this was News Overview. It's time for Now in Busan. We have Jian in the studio. Let's say hi first. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I hope you had a good weekend.
I did. Did
Good. You know, it was pretty relaxing, but overall, I would say it was a good weekend. But
Yes.
it's Monday again.
Yes.
Well, we're going to dive into our text topic first. You know, what was the worst condition or scary situation that you... Oh, by the way, do you drive?
I do. I do.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay. So that you have ever driven in.
I had no idea how scary the windy weather could be until I rode the motorcycle.
Oh.
When I was really young, I used to be a delivery driver, and I had a chance to ride a motorcycle.
Sure.
And when it's windy, my whole body and the bike itself would shake like crazy.
Wow,
It's
really?
so scary.
How long did you do that for?
About for a year, I think.
Really? I'm sure you've seen pretty bad conditions, right? Through
Yes.
all the seasons. Thank you for sharing. Very interesting. Well, you know, we've been sharing news about the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries moving to Busan. So, any key updates?
Yes, ahead of the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries relocation to Busan, Donggu District has prepared a wide range of support measures to help the ministry settle smoothly. The temporary headquarters will move into the IM and Hyopsung buildings from today with about 800 staff members, including civil servants and contract workers, relocating together.
Right. So, what kind of support are they actually receiving from the district?
Donggu is implementing 28 projects across administrative support, cultural tourism, and environmental improvements. Some parking spaces at the Donggu district office are being provided to ministry staff with discounted rates applied for up to 20 vehicles. Employee welfare is also being improved through partial discounts on various sports programs such as swimming, screen golf, and table tennis.
I see. Is Donggu District doing anything to improve the area itself for the relocation?
Yes, the district has invested 20 million won to repair old and damaged roads around the temporary office. It is also replacing 305 old signboards and about 150 businesses along 중앙대로 near Busan Station. On December 26, a welcome event will be held at the Donggu Cultural Platform with youth startup booths, hands-on programs, food, and cultural performances. Additional programs, including welcome concerts and guided tours, are also planned.
Yes, so once again, this is a big move. Let's be welcoming of this ministry and, of course, the employees as well. Well, we're looking at a new survey on international tourists here in Busan. So what stood out most in this report?
As Busan has surpassed 3 million international visitors for the first time this year, the city has conducted a survey and the result is quite interesting. A survey of 1,060 international tourists found the average stay was 6.2 days, with over 90% staying 4 days or even more, showing that the city is attractive enough as a long-stay tourist destination.
So tell us a little bit more about how tourists are enjoying Busan. How are people actually traveling and spending their money in Busan?
Most visitors traveled by plane and came in small groups of friends or couples, staying mainly in hotels.
Okay.
The most popular activities were food tours, shopping, and enjoying natural scenery and cultural sites. Average spending per person was about 1.2 million won, with transportation and accommodation making up the largest share of expenses.
Yes, and which places in Busan are tourists visiting the most?
The most popular places were Gwanganri Beach, Nampodong Busan International Film Festival Square, Gamcheon Culture Village, Gukjae Market, and Haeundae Beach. The overall satisfaction rate reached 99.3%, and the Busan Tourism Organization, Busan 관광공사, said that Busan's image among international visitors continues to improve.
Oh, that's really good. The fact that the satisfaction rate is so high.
Yes.
All right. Moving on, we have a traffic update from Haeundae. So what's causing the disruption?
Busan City announced that traffic will be controlled at Changsan Tunnel 1 and Tunnel 2 along Changsan-dero in Haeundae District from today, December 8th through January 20th to install tunnel entry blocking safety equipment. To avoid heavy congestion, during rush hours, one lane in each direction will be closed alternately for 7 hours overnight from 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. the next morning.
Okay, so any additional disruptions drivers should be aware of?
For 2 days from tomorrow, December 9th and 10th, extra traffic controls will be in place for 1 hour starting at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Busan City said the measures are being taken to improve tunnel safety and ask drivers to use caution and allow extra travel time.
All right. Thanks for letting us know, giving us a heads up on all of this. We're discussing the results of the 2025 Busan Social Survey next. So what's the big picture from this report?
The survey shows that 77% of Busan citizens want to continue living in the city, reflecting strong residential stability.
Okay.
Overall life satisfaction has generally improved compared to last year, but satisfaction with cultural and leisure facilities remain low at around 25%. This highlights a continuing demand for better cultural infrastructure despite improvements in other areas of daily life.
Yeah, so what do citizens think about daily life here in Busan?
Housing and public transportation satisfaction improved with subway, light rail, and Donghae line rated highest and parking satisfaction rising. Workplace satisfaction increased slightly with income and job stability being top priorities. Education satisfaction was moderate, but only 1 in 4 were happy with cultural and leisure facilities, with most weekend leaders spent on videos.
And how will the city respond to this?
Busan City plans to use these survey results to shape policies that truly respond to residents' needs. This includes improving housing and public transport infrastructure, expanding and upgrading cultural and leisure facilities, and ensuring that urban development reflects the priorities expressed by citizens. Busan Mayor Park Hyung-jun emphasized that understanding citizens' voice is essential for guiding precise policy decisions and improving the quality of life for everyone living in Busan.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you so much for going over all the local news. Take care. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Jian.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to your traffic and weather. It's time for your traffic report. There is some congestion on the Dongso overpass from Hwangyong Ramp to the old Daegum tollgate. And it's backed up on Bandakdero from Sukdong to Deokcheon intersection. And there is some traffic on Byeongno going away from the city right around the Wondong Ramp. It's looking slow on Luno Samsungdero from Myeongji underpass to Shinho Bridge. Currently, it is 7 degrees Celsius under clear skies with a daytime high forecast to go up to 11 degrees today. A dry weather special report is issued across Busan with bad fine dust levels. Across the nation, much colder with near zero temperatures in the central, Jeonbuk, and Gyeongbuk areas. Dry air and strong winds in Gangwon, Gyeongbuk, and Gyeongnam regions are being detected, so please be careful when handling fire or if you are outdoors. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for Top Stories. We have Haley in the studio. Let's say hi first. Good morning.
Good morning.
How was your weekend?
It was nice. Yeah. What did I do? I got a really good night's sleep last night.
Oh, that's good.
Full 7 hours, which, yeah. Yay. And then I think that just erased my entire weekend. Oh, I watched Zootopia too. Yeah.
How was that?
I kind of dozed. It was really good.
But
I think I'm just in hibernation mode. I dozed off in the middle. Nothing about the movie, but I think I'm just all about sleeping. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So text topic. Scariest or I don't know, like worst conditions.
Annoyingest.
Annoyingest. We're making up words now.
I think when I first started driving, so in the States, I was 15, which is so incredibly young.
When you think
15-year-olds
about
should
it.
not be trusted with moving vehicles.
Yes.
But my dad, he was all about me practicing as much as possible. So I had just gotten my learner's permit. He puts the entire family, including my little sister who was strapped to a car seat at the time. And he's like, we're taking a family trip to Mount Rainier, which you don't know, it's a mountain.
Right.
It has snow all around the year. And I'm driving on this mountain road and there are no shoulders on that road.
Oh my
갓길.
gosh.
And I'm just one fall swoop and we're going to be there's
whole
a
family.
baby in the car. Dad, this is so irresponsible as the head of the household.
Wow.
You have a lot of faith in me. Yeah.
And so you guys were
we're
okay?
here. We're here.
Were you crawling up the mountain?
I think so. And I'm just and I'm sure there were cars piled up behind me, but I'm I'm worried about the front and the sides. You people in the back, deal with it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Quick learner though, I'm sure. Oh my, your dad is brave.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to jump into the latest with a coupon story where the e-commerce giant is starting to show some fallout from its customers.
Right. So because previously on Friday, we reported that the daily active users or the DAU spiked by a huge margin, setting 2 consecutive records on the 2 days after that story about the data breach broke. However, so back then, analysts were saying that either customers didn't care or were not concerned that much about the data breach, or they were rushing in to check whether their information had been breached. Well, new data suggests that it is likely the latter.
Yes. So Coupang seeing a decline in the number of users?
Yes, it is. So for December 2nd, Coupang's DAU came to 17.8 million, which is a drop of over 180,000 people from the previous day. So that was, again, a new record.
Okay.
And as this is going on, other e-commerce platforms are seeing an increase in their daily active users. So Gmarket saw its DAU increase by about 300,000 the day after Coupang's story broke.
Okay.
11th Street up by also similar 300,000. Naver Plus stores by 400,000 users. YouTube, for its part, reported an 1,800% increase on Coupang-related searches. And a lot of the relevant searches had to do with compensations, information leaks, account cancellation, and personal information.
Yes, so we can tell that public anxiety over personal information breaches is high. So what can concerned users do?
Right, because we are seeing stories, and maybe you guys are experiencing this yourselves, of increased spam or scam-related calls and messages or weird login activities. So the Personal Information Protection Commission, the PIPC, and the Korea Internet and Security Agency, KISA, they have functions where you can look up whether your ID and password have been leaked via these illegal means and whether they're being circulated around.
Yes.
So you can inquire with KISA, KISA's 118 call center. Coupang is also of the position right now that no login information, passwords were leaked. Some platforms like Naver, Kakao, and also Coupang, they do offer detailed information on login activities once you go to your account, so you can see with the location stamps as well. So if you live in Busan, but you're seeing information in Seoul or even overseas, that is a telltale sign that something might be circulating.
Yes, and apparently the government is also stepping in.
Right, because there are also fears of this information leaking not only in Korea but overseas, especially because anxiety over Chinese e-commerce platforms and their untested products have been lingering in the background.
Right.
Gmarket also had a similar, smaller but similar leak incident, and it actually has a joint venture with AliExpress. So upon all of this, the government has decided to overhaul the security authentication process for corporations.
Yes.
So this isn't just our individual login logins. So telecom companies and large platforms will now be required to get what's called the ISMS-P government security authentication. And whereas previously this process was on paper, so companies had to submit documents showing that they had these safety guardrails. However, from now on, there will be actually like a practical test, like for example, a mock hacking attempt. And if there are large-scale breaches, the government will hold a special inspection and can't even cancel this authentication.
Yes. And of course, later on in hour number 2, we'll be back with our expert to delve into this even deeper. So you can stay tuned for that, listeners. All right. Moving on. The CSAT or student scores have been officially announced. The reports, the individual reports, they've been handed out. But controversy over that English section continues to the point where there is now an official investigation.
There is. So it's been pointed out that the English portion of this year's 수능 CSAT exams was excessively difficult. Because a little bit of background, I mean, depending on whom you talk to, but English was sort of seen as like the 깔아주는, the cushion for some, because the biggest reason is it's not graded on a curve.
Right.
So as long as you get 90 points or above, you get 1등급, right? Level 1.
Yes.
By the way, subjects that are on a curve, only students who are in the top 4 percentile of the scores are given level 1. So this year, only 3.11% of test takers received a 90% or above on the English portion. And that, by the way, is the lowest figure since that non-curve system was implemented back in 2018.
Right. And the test creators actually apologize for this.
Right. So this is a serious issue. The Korea Institute for Curriculum and Evaluation, KAIS, they issued a statement apologizing to the test takers and the parents. It says it gravely accepts the criticism that the test did not live up to the appropriate difficulty level that's required. And also, it was supposed to ease the academic burden for subjects that are not graded on a curve once again. So KAIS said it will review the entire test creation and review process. And the Ministry of Education also issued a press release saying that it too gravely accepts these concerns and it'll make sure that the follow-up measures are prompt and transparent.
But the thing is that for the students who have already taken it,
it's done.
It's done. So I don't know. All right. Let's now turn our attention to how people are living and coping financially. There is further evidence that Korean society is seeing further financial polarization.
Right. So the rich get richer and the poor get poor kind of phenomenon. So according to the Ministry of Data and Statistics yesterday, lower income classes saw an actual decrease in their wages last year. So we're not talking about perceived decrease, a real decrease.
Okay.
We're talking about the lowest 20% of income earners. So their average household income came to 4 million won last year. That is for the entire year, not for the month.
Oh.
Right. So
okay.
that's down by 1.3% a year ago.
Okay.
And this is the first time in 5 years that the figure actually decreased. So reasons for this, the overall stagnant economy, but especially felt around the job market in temporary or day workers, where a lot of these lower income classes are working in.
Yes. So how much of a difference was this compared with the top income earners?
Right. So let's go to the polarization aspect of this. The top 20% of households made 120 million won on average annually, and they saw their income increase by 3.7% from the year before.
Okay.
So this puts the difference between the top and bottom 20% at 30 times the income difference. And this was just wages, what I talked about. Let's look at assets. The top 20% had an average of 1.7 billion won in assets. The lowest 20%, 25.8 million won. So we're talking about 68 times the difference in assets, and that gap is the highest since record-taking began back in 2012.
Right. I mean, but theoretically, these are numbers. So how do they translate to real-life situations?
Right. So throw in inflation. So this means that lower-income households are struggling to make ends meet, which is their day-to-day spending. So in third quarter of this year, the lowest 20% of households spent 40% of their income on just the essentials. We're talking rent, food, and utilities.
Okay.
But for the top 20%, that was only 20% of their income. So again, the rich have more money to go around.
Yes.
And of course, food, gas, electricity, these costs fluctuate more depending on external factors like energy costs and currency rate. So that puts the lower income class at a more vulnerable financial situation.
I see. Well, we're going to move on to our final final story for now. The U.S. released its national security strategy, and this clearly concerns South Korea.
Right. So on Thursday, local time, the White House released the 33-page National Security Strategy, NSS. So it essentially lays out the administration's stance on foreign policy, defense, and economic security. So immediate concerns for South Korea, increased defense spending or calls for increased defense spending because the document called on its allies, including South Korea, to contribute far more to collective defense. Although Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth followed up with this and saying countries like South Korea who have done their due diligence will get special treatment. But the papers say that the quote, the days of the U.S. propping up the entire world order like Atlas are over, unquote.
Okay, well, another major point in the document was Taiwan.
Right, so it calls for preventing conflict over Taiwan as one of the U.S.'s top foreign policy priority. So it also introduces this concept, a Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. Right, so let's go back to our world history days. Monroe Doctrine that was issued back in the 1800s by President James Monroe essentially declared American isolationism, not just the U.S., but the U.S. and Latin Americas by saying that the Western Hemisphere, it was closed off to European colonization and declaring basically U.S. dominance over the Americas, and that would basically shape Latin American policy for the U.S. for decades, if not centuries to come.
Okay.
So whereas this 1800s, 19th century document focused on Latin America, the Trump corollary, which is Trump's follow-up version to the Monroe Doctrine, Asia, especially Taiwan against China. So to that end, the U.S. says that it will, with its allies, establish an armed presence that can block invasion at any time, at any point across Okinawa, Taiwan, the Philippines, and the Malacca Strait.
Yes. However, the document doesn't make any mention of North Korea.
Right, which was a very interesting and very notable omission. This is a big turnaround from all of its previous iterations. So again, the latest NSS does not mention North Korea, nor does it include the U.S.'s commitment to denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. So this development has then, of course, raised concerns that security issues surrounding Pyongyang could be pushed to the back burner in U.S. foreign policy.
I see. Well, thank you for going over all the top stories, and we'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
We are ready for our first song of the morning. This is White by WT.
지도 1년이 됐어 우리 그때보다 변한 것이 있다면 좀 더 커져버린 사랑일 거야 겨울 내내 너를 생각하며 만들던 빨간 스웨터도 입혀줄 거야 항상 포근했던 네 마음과 어울려 날 생각하면 정말 좋겠어 거리에 함께 나온 연인들 밤새 질
요즘 발라드 잘 부른 여자한테 끌리는 나랑 스키장을 가자 보드 타자 눈 위험한 내게 탈출을 모른다면 내가 가르쳐줄게 넌 날 반하게 한 학생 난 네 강사 역할이니 yeah. 스윗한 걸 원한다면 좋아 불러줄게 girl 나쁜 남자가 좋아 몸에 불러줄게 girl 다른 건 몰라도 we can make it music girl The beachy what's good hey OMG로 놀러와 girl Come on hey.
지금 네 발에 빗질려 저 하늘까지 들려 나도 오늘 밤은 같은 소원 빌게 될 거야 많은 시간들이 흘러가도 우리들의 사랑 지금처럼만 간직해주길 기도해
Welcome back, everybody. I was looking at some of your responses regarding our text topic today. What's like the worst or scariest conditions you have ever driven in? So I was expecting like snow and hail and those kind of stories, which there are some of those stories, but I like Tommy's story because I feel like this is so real. It's probably happened to at least probably anyone who has ever driven. 자, he writes... I think I can say that. 겁나게 배 아프고 or very 배 아프고 진짜 급한데 차는 막히는데 고가도로 위에 있을 때가 제일 위험하죠. So he is talking about having a tummy ache. 장 trouble when you are literally on the road and you can't get off. I think I've experienced that as well here in Korea where you know how like the rest areas, the 휴게소 are kind of far apart. So you see on your car on the Navi and it says like the next rest stop is like 30 kilometers away. And you're like, oh dear, can I hold it in is the phrase we use. Can I make it to that? Stop it, Vasana. Can I make it to that next rest area? Or like, do I have to pull over like emergency, go to like the 졸음 쉼터 or, you know, the rest area where they have for like, you know, drowsy or sleepy driving. By the way, I love that we have that, but I've never been to it. And then like our producer was telling me that they only have like 1 or 2 stalls. So I don't know. That's a tough one. In terms of others, 고수님 says 저는 제가 운전해본 최악의 컨디션은 눈, 비, 바람 아무것도 문제가 아닙니다. 다만 4살 여자친구가 차에 타면 제일 어렵네요. 빨리 가지 마라. 저 차 왜 빵 하고 가냐 등등. 모범 운전과 세상 모든 일을 설명해야 합니다. This is so cute. He talks about the fact that nothing scares him, whether it's snow, rain, or the wind. It's his 4-year-old little girlfriend, or aka his daughter. She needs a lot of explanations, and he has to explain all the traffic conditions out there. So for parents out there, you probably know what he's talking about. All right, we're gonna drive into a profile check. I'll be back with Vasana in just a moment. It's time for profile check, and we have Vasana asking
Why?
the whole time, right? Kids.
Why?
Kids say the darndest things, but they can be so... No, okay, let me rephrase that. Kids can say the most annoying things, right? Especially when they go through the why phase.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be patient. You know you have to be patient, but it's so hard.
I think my wife and I are the opposites in that area.
Ah.
I would always explain my wife would be
Really?
say, 그냥.
그냥, just because, right? Hey, so what's the worst kind of condition or scariest situation that you've been while driving?
I think if there are any Antipodean people listening, they would understand this one. Driving through sheep or cattle.
Excuse me? What? Driving through sheep or cattle?
If you're ever driving through country New Zealand,
okay.
You will come across this situation maybe once a week.
Once a week,
I lived in
really?
the countryside, so I went through this. And so when I took my wife back home to New Zealand one time, and we came across this this herd of sheep. The farmer was moving it from one paddock to another one. And my wife went, oh.
That would be scary, right?
All these go, meh, meh. So
I get it.
yeah, or driving through a protest as well. I accidentally did that. So I just had to stop the car. And that's all you can do. So it's the same when you're driving through sheep.
That's true.
Just have to wait for them to get by. Otherwise, people get angry. Sheep get angry.
Yes, we don't want angry sheep.
No.
All right, let's jump into profile
Sure.
check. So, who are we covering today? Who are we checking into?
We are starting out with Millie Bobby Brown.
Why are we using that accent?
I have no idea because she's neither German
She's not.
nor Austrian. For those who don't know the name, I'm sure they do, they will definitely know the face. No photo, as she is the main character in Stranger Things.
Oh, there she is.
Okay.
Stranger Things, yes.
Which is being streamed on
Thing, yes.
Indeng.
Yes.
So Millie has got layers, like her career, identity, and apparently her name.
Yes.
So here's where she comes from. She was born on February 19th in Marbella, Spain. So she's Spanish.
Oh, she was born in Spain? Oh.
From British parents.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's British but born
Right.
in Spain. She was the third of 4 kids. And as a child, she had partial hearing loss. I didn't know that she had partial hearing loss.
I had no idea.
In her left ear, eventually losing full hearing there. So she cannot hear
Out of her left ear?
out of her left ear. When you watch her acting, you can't. She's a good
I
actor,
would have
obviously.
never thought, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
So her family moved to Bournemouth in England when she was about 4. A few years later, they relocated to Orlando, Florida, where things changed. At a kids' acting workshop, a Hollywood scout told her parents she had instincts you can't teach.
Ooh, so she was a natural.
A
as they
natural,
say.
yes. So they went to LA, and within months, LA, do you know where that is?
Oh, I think I've heard of
You've
it.
heard of it?
Yes.
She went to LA, and within months, she was booked for small TV roles.
Wow, so from Marbella, Spain to
Yes.
La La Land.
La La Land.
That is quite a relocation.
Yes. And you've gone from La La Land to Poo Poo Boo 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 Land.
Vasana
Exactly.
thinks he's so funny.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So what happened? So
At the age of 12, she landed the breakout role that made her world famous. So obviously, I'm talking about 11 in Stranger Things.
yes.
So that role turned a young British Spanish kid into a global star overnight.
Right.
Just one thing, here's a little cookie. She started life not as Millie Bobby Brown. She started as Millie Bonnie Brown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's not, at least her middle name.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah.
So we saw last week with name changes, people have reasons for doing that. But with this one, she said she was just having fun with her family, and it just stuck.
I like it though.
Yeah, no special meaning. So
Right.
And I think Bobby is much easier to pronounce than Bonnie. Bobby, because your lips are just bob, 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 bob. But anyway,
Yes.
yes, let's move on from that.
So fast forward to today.
Day.
I mean, are we going to talk about the fact that she's married? She's young but married, and she's married into like music royalty.
Yes.
Right.
Not music royalty, not Bon Jovi. It's this other guy called Bon Jovi. And you know how some women take on their last husband's name?
Right.
Sorry, their last husband's name. Their husband's last name. She has 2, but in an interview last month when asked about her name,
Yes.
she said, drop the Bobby, drop the Brown. So she's changed her name again. So she is now Millie Bon Jovi. So if you look for her name now, you can't find, or you can find because of all her acting. But it used to be Millie Bobby Brown Bon Jovi. Now it's just Millie. But I understand. It's just
But Jake is Bon Jovi's son.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes.
So hence she is
royalty,
married.
yeah, yes.
Her father-in-law is
Yeah, it's just not
Bon
as
Jovi.
not as good as sorry, I'm being very elitist here. He's not a musician.
but her father-in-law is. Yes.
It's my life.
But it's like
Anyway.
it seems like she's, she at such a young age,
Yes.
she became highly, popular.
Yes.
With this role in Stranger Things.
Yep.
She got married at a young age.
Correct.
And for someone who has had, life challenges, hearing
A lot of challenges. Yep.
and early fame.
Yep.
Sometimes child stars we see in the news a lot. They don't turn out.
They don't turn out well.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Yeah.
Some of them have difficulties in life
Yes.
later on, right?
Yes.
But apparently not so.
No, her
for
story
her.
is one of whirlwind of relocation, challenges, sudden fame, and now self-writing.
Oh.
Whether she ends up as a director, novelist, producer, or all three, I'm betting she has not done surprising us. So that's where she's hinted where she's going next.
And by the way,
Yep.
I think they adopted a baby girl.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So she's been in the news quite a bit lately.
Yep.
So I'm glad that we covered her. Such
Yes.
an interesting person.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So from Millie Bobby Brown, where are we going to next?
We are going to a guy called Cody Ponce.
Oh, Cody Ponce.
From Millie Bobby Brown Bon Jovi
Yes.
to Cody Ponce. So this guy, some people who know baseball and
Yes.
follow baseball, they will know who this guy is. For those who don't, he was a pitcher for Hanwha last season. And Hanwha made it all the way to the championship. But anyway, let's go to that later. He had a remarkable season in the KBO, not just strong, but very, very dominant. Strikeout totals, ERA, consistency. He was performing at a level that blah, 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 basically Major League started looking at him. I was going to say that led him all the way to the championship game where Hanwha lost. But anyway, this is about Cody,
Ouch.
not the Hanwha Eagles. My apologies to all the Hanwha fans
Oh, there
out
he
there.
is.
Yeah.
In Korea, is he known as Ponce? 그렇게 알고 있는 것 같아요. So just in case you're like, oh, I know who that is. If you're checking out our YouTube page, yes, it's. But we say Cody Ponce.
I guess Ponce is a lot better than Ponce. Ponce has a meaning in English as well, negative meaning. But anyway, so what makes his story compelling is
Yes.
the personal transformation behind the statistics.
Oh,
So he talked openly about rebuilding his mechanics. That's the way he throws.
yes.
And his confidence. So from America, he started off in the Major League, and then he went to Japan, and he struggled about it. So it wasn't just the mechanics, just frequent injuries, which took a psychological toll as well. So
Yes.
it affects everybody in different ways. So playing in Japan and Korea gave him the space to step back, breathe, and rebuild. So as a lot of people who come here, they enjoy Korea because it is a 6-day week. Everything is within 3 hours.
Yes.
You can travel back the same day. It's not like in America where you're playing on the West Coast and then East Coast, which is 10 hours traveling. If you're on the bus, that might be
Yes. Oh my
24,
gosh.
25
Right,
hours.
Right.
So, because some baseball players don't like planes. So yeah. But here in Korea, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours
Sure,
max.
sure.
So yeah, he definitely was allowed to step back and rebuild. So the KBO brought the best out of him. The fan engagement he loved.
Yes.
The energy from the fans he loved, and the different pitching philosophies from all the different coaches from around the world as well, because we've got Japanese coaches, we've got American coaches, we've got South American coaches here. It's just a wonderful collection of people, plethora of people from all over the world.
Sure.
A little cookie, another cookie. I'm full of cookies this morning. For those who follow NFL,
Yes.
here's another famous person, George Kittle.
George Kittle.
Yeah, he's married to George Kittle's little sister.
Wait, who's married to? Ponce?
Ponce.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Ponce.
Ponce is married to George Kittle's little sister.
Yeah. Do you know who George is?
No, I don't.
No, you don't. Okay.
See the blank look in my eyes?
Okay, George Kittle is a tight end, TE, for the San Francisco 39ers.
49ers.
Oh, there, I see you do know.
I know the
I was
team
testing
names.
you.
I just know I don't know the current players.
I was going to say the 69ers like somebody else said a couple weeks ago.
49ers, yes.
49ers. Okay, anyway, back to Cody. So he's now positioned for a second shot at MLB, and the timing is perfect. Teams are paying attention to players who flourish overseas, and the team that picked him up was another team that failed last year at the championship level.
Which one?
Toronto.
he's going
Toronto.
to
Sorry,
Toronto?
got to pronounce it right.
Toronto.
Sorry to all those Canadians out there, especially Andrew. Toronto. There is a T there, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Toronto.
We always say Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's like Cincinnati. Right?
Yes, so he's
Anyway.
headed there.
Yes, so he's headed there. And there's something inspiring about seeing a player embrace a new league wholeheartedly. So he wasn't just filling a roster spot, he became a star there in Hanwha.
Yes, yes.
And now he returns to North America as a different pitcher, with his family, all renewed, and arguably a more mature athlete.
So his overseas chapter, more of a, not a detour, but a rebuild? How
Correct.
about that?
Yeah.
I think that's such a positive spin, right?
Definitely a positive spin. And a reset that led to a revival. Should
Yes.
turn that into a T-shirt. Reset to revival.
I like. Okay.
If anybody's doing that, I've got rights to it. I bags it.
Trademark it.
Trademark.
Okay, so is there anybody else we're going to talk about? We have a few more minutes.
A few minutes.
Yes.
We got a young Korean guy
Okay.
called Moon Sa-jun.
Ooh.
So he's doing a Kobe and going straight to the big leagues from high school.
Really?
Yeah. Not just a Kobe. I believe Choo Choo went straight from high school as well. But anyway, he's a young Korean pitching prospect. And the team we talked about before in America has also got dibs on him.
Oh.
Toronto.
Well, there you see
There he
in the Blue
is.
Jays
Yeah.
uniform. Yes.
Yeah, Toronto.
Uh-huh.
Toronto has signed him
Ah.
through their international program.
Okay.
So what the star highlighted was his composure.
Oh.
Scouts noted how unusually calm he is on the mound for someone his age. So he's disciplined, methodical, mature. There's a lot of alliteration there, which is often more important than raw velocity in the long-term development. So a lot of kids these days, they often concentrate on speed. Hey,
Yes.
look, I threw 99. I threw 100. But it's all
He
about
brings more.
location. Doesn't matter how fast you throw it. It's all about locating your pitches.
Okay.
So this says how a lot about how global baseball is becoming.
Yes.
Clubs aren't just scouting college players or domestic products; they're going overseas as well. So yeah,
Well, I like the fact that, they are able to pick out talent
yes,
from, so many countries, and it happens to be this time South Korea.
Yep.
A high schooler, right?
Yes, correct.
Oh, so that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So the best of luck to him there.
Yep.
And so in terms of these three people we covered today, is there some sort of common thread that you could find?
yeah.
What is it?
They're all at different stages in their lives.
Oh, that's the common thread?
That's the common thread.
Interesting take.
One at the beginning, one in the middle, one near the end.
Near the end?
Well, he's had a good beginning in the major league, then he
That's
came
true.
for rebuild, and he's going back for the final stage
Yes, that's true.
of his life. Whereas Moon Sa-jun started beginning, and Millie has just got into fame, and she's right in the middle of her career.
She's enjoying life.
Yes.
She is.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we are going to call it a wrap. So I like this whole new vibe with a profile check where we delve into people that we might have heard of, we might recognize their name,
Yep.
but we don't know too much about maybe their background.
Maybe
Some
if
of
I
you do,
pronounced
maybe.
it correctly, Ponce.
All right. So thank you, and we look forward to next week as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I know that over the weekend, many of you saw lots of news, including some of the quote-unquote scandals that have popped up over the weekend. And I have to say, there were kind of doozies. But we're going to talk about that in hour number 2. Plus, we have our special interview. We're going to dig deeper into the big e-commerce data breach story. All right, let's call it a wrap. And this is It's My Life by Bon Jovi. So enjoy. I'll be back at 8.
This ain't a song for the broken hearted. A silent prayer for faith departed. I ain't gonna be just a face in the crowd. You're gonna hear my voice when I shout it out loud. It's my life, it's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. to the ground. For Tommy and Gina, never back down. Tomorrow's getting harder, make no mistake. Looking even look, you gotta make your own breaks. It's my
좋아하는 일을 하며 자신만의 길을 걷는다면 얼마나 행복할까요? 빠르게 변하는 세상 속에서 교육은 내일을 향한 가장 가까운 첫걸음입니다. 한 걸음 먼저, 꿈은 더 크게. 지금 부산의 38개 직업계 고등학교에서는 배움을 넘어 꿈을 현실로 만들기 위한 학생들의 도전이 이어지고 있습니다. 내일의 나를 준비하고 있는 학생들의 힘찬 미래를 응원합니다. 이 캠페인은 다 함께 미래로 앞서가는 부산교육, 부산광역시 교육청이 함께합니다.
I was so busy this morning. I didn't even get to check my messages. I almost got hit.
Here comes the safety hero. Stop right there, Smombi. Put your phone away. Keep your head up. Look around.
What was I doing? Thank you. I'm finally free from being a smombie.
As you just heard, Even a quick text could lead to a serious accident. This kind of behavior has a name, SMOMBI, a word created by combining smartphone and zombie.
Walk with your head up and check your surroundings before you move. Let's build a safer traffic culture and keep our streets free from zombies. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
세계를 놀라게 할 북극 항로. 그 중심에 대한민국 해양 수도권 부산, 울산, 경남이 있다는 사실 여러분 아시나요? 불경의 미래 부산, 울산, 경남 방송발전협의회가 함께 하겠습니다. 지금까지 운영위원장 성현우였습니다.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Spotlight News. South Korea working on resuming inter-Korean talks. South Korea is making efforts to resume talks with North Korea, but is not considering using its joint military drills with the U.S. as leverage, said National Security Advisor Wi Sung-nak yesterday. The comments came during a press briefing marking the Lee Jae-myung administration's 6th month in office, where we said that the government will act as a pacemaker for North Korea and the U.S. to closely communicate and for the two Koreas to build trust. He assessed that the administration has made many diplomatic achievements but has been fairly limited in inter-Korean matters despite its efforts to ease tensions, vowing to boost cooperation with neighboring nations next year. Special counsel indicts former PPP floor leader over martial law role. The Cho In-suk special counsel yesterday indicted former People Power Party or PPP floor leader Chu Kyung-ho on allegations of having played a key role in ex-president Yoon Suk-yeol's martial law imposition. Chu faces allegations that he blocked PPP lawmakers from participating in a parliamentary vote to lift the martial law decree issued on December 3rd last year by changing the location of the meeting multiple times. The special counsel also indicted former Prime Minister Hwang Yo-an on charges of inciting an insurrection for his social media posts calling for the eradication of pro-North Korea forces and arrests of lawmakers. President nominates human rights lawyer as chief state auditor. President Lee Jae-myung has nominated human rights lawyer Kim Ho-chul as the new chief of the Board of Audit and Inspection, or BAI, the presidential office said yesterday. Kim has previously served as chairman of the Korea National Police Commission and co-representative of the Korea Federation for Environmental Movements, a leading environmental civic group, as well as president of Lawyers for a Democratic Society, a liberal lawyers association. The nominee will go through a parliamentary confirmation hearing as the position is subject to parliamentary approval. No date has been set yet. Over 100 billion coins stolen from Upbit. Around 104.06 billion crypto coins worth approximately 44.5 billion won were stolen from Upbit, the biggest South Korean crypto exchange, during a recent hacking incident. According to data from the Financial Supervisory Service, or FSS, released by Representative Kang Min-guk's office yesterday, the theft took place early morning on November 27th, where the coins were transferred to unidentified external wallets during a 54-minute period. Upbit reported the hacking to the FSS over 6 hours after it occurred, during which time its operator, Tunamu, and Naver Financial announced their merger, raising speculation over whether Upbit delayed the disclosure due to the merger. Japan says Chinese jets pointed radar at Japanese aircraft. The Japanese government has accused Chinese fighter jets of directing fire control radar at Japanese aircraft over international waters near the island of Okinawa. Japanese Minister of Defense Shinjiro Koizumi said that Tokyo had lodged a strong protest about the incidents and made a stern demand for measures to prevent recurrence. A Chinese Navy spokesperson disputed the claim, saying that a Japanese self-defense force aircraft repeatedly approached and disrupted the Chinese Navy as it was training. And this was Spotlight News. This is your special interview. Concerns are growing after one of South Korea's largest e-commerce platforms suffered a massive data leak last week. The company confirmed that information from 33.7 million customer accounts was exposed without authorization. And that's a figure that amounts to more than half of the country's 51 million population. And this breach included detailed lifestyle and purchase information, raising the risk and precision of potential scams. So today, we want to learn more about how this could have happened, how such data can be misused, and what safeguards should look like. Joining us today is Professor Stephen Bellavin, Senior Affiliate Scholar at Georgetown University's Institute for Technology Law and Policy, and the Percy K. and Vita L. W. Hudson Professor Emeritus of Computer Science at Columbia University. So let's say hi first. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
The pleasure is all ours. So, Professor, you heard of, or I said in the intro, I mentioned the e-commerce platform Coupang recently confirming that 33.7 million customer accounts were accessed without authorization where personal information was exposed. So, based on this incident, could you walk us through what aspects of this breach concern you the most from a privacy and security perspective?
When you have something like this happening, it's almost certainly never the fault of individual users, and there's nothing an individual user could do to protect themselves. If it's 33 million, it's not 33 million individual hacks. It's probably either a security flaw by the vendor, and there are two types of that, I'll get to that in a moment, or the attacker somehow managed to steal privileged login credentials from a well-placed employee at the company. At this point, there's no way to tell which it was. If it was a hack, it could be that they just didn't take suitable precautions. Their software wasn't up to date. Their firewalls weren't properly configured.
Okay.
Or sometimes, though rarely, it's a so-called 0 day, one where there is no defense possible because the software vendors don't know about the problem, so there's no patch to install.
I see. Can we talk about those two security flaws that you alluded to?
Sure.
And so if we can delve into that just a little bit more, what can you tell us?
Okay, so about half of break-ins are due to what's called compromised credentials, especially passwords. And the best defense against that is to use what's called two-factor authentication. Not just a password, but something else, typically something you have. So here's an example of one popular one.
Okay.
It's called a FIDO2 key, FIDO2. It's an industry standard, and this does a kind of cryptographic authentication. It doesn't matter if someone has stolen your password. If they don't have the cryptographic secret inside that key, they can't log in as you. There are other simpler ways, authenticator apps on your phone, all sorts of other ways, but not just the password, but something else. A lot of places in the U.S. just send you a text message. That's not the best form of two-factor authentication,
Sure.
but it's far, far better than nothing. If you're talking about employees,
Yes.
you want to go with something good. And you can afford it. They're not that expensive. When Google deployed FIDO2 keys among its staff, it cut the rate of credential compromise to quite literally zero. Nothing. They never had that happen again. And especially for privileged employees, it's an absolute requirement to do something like that.
I see. Well, in terms of this particular breach, we're talking about data like detailed lifestyle and purchase data. So how does having this kind of information exposed change the risk for everyday users? Because, for us as consumers, we're thinking, well, if they have all these different, kinds of personal information about myself or my purchasing habits, aren't scammers, won't they be able to, for example, target certain consumers?
Well, that's where the 33 million figure is actually good news. They have more data than they can possibly use. There are three possible scenarios for that. One, they can pick people at random. A few hundred, a few thousand, but it takes time to exploit anyone's data, so you're probably safe. Some years ago, I had a credit card number that I know was exposed in a data breach, and my credit card company didn't even bother replacing my card because they knew that the odds on my card among tens of millions of others being used was very low. They probably just stepped up the monitoring for my card. The second thing they can do is go after prominent people, politicians, movie stars, singers, what have you, people in the public eye, because then you've got some leverage for blackmail, perhaps. The third thing they can do is they can look for embarrassing sorts of purchases. If they have purchase history, they can search for who is buying things that they would not want to be known publicly or perhaps to a family member, and then try to blackmail them individually.
Wow.
But again, it's 33 million. It's probably not going to happen to any individual, but it could happen.
Yes. And, for South Korea, South Korea is such a digitally connected society. Do you think that creates any unique challenges or vulnerabilities when such, these data breaches happen? Because, for example, that 33.7 million number, when you think about it, if you just equate that to the number of adults in Korea, that's like 3/4 of the entire population whose data has been breached.
Right. Yeah. I have all sorts of ideas on how companies could run their systems better, but these I have to call these research ideas to minimize the consequences of a breach.
Yes.
As a user, in the U.S., the big risk of all this personal data is what's called identity theft. Somebody taking out credit cards or loans in your name with all this personal data.
Yes.
Again, that's a time-consuming business. They can't do it to very many people, but it's certainly a very real risk. And you want to watch your credit report, if that's possible under Korean law. I'm afraid I don't know, to see if anybody is making queries about your credit when they don't expect them to.
Okay.
Watch for new credit cards. Watch for unusual things starting to happen. But the data's out there. There's no way to call it back.
Yes.
You just have to be careful and hope that you're not one of the few thousand at most who are going to be hit this way.
Yes. But when these types of large-scale breaches do happen, there's often a debate about where the responsibility should fall, whether it's, the company itself or whether it's the regulators for not having more stringent, regulations. And then, of course, you prefaced our interview by saying that, it's not the user's fault. But, the companies might say, hey, I don't know, that there's so much blame to be passed around. But from your perspective and your expertise, Professor, what are the realistic expectations for each party in preventing or limiting the damage at least?
Okay, so if you're logging into a site that offers you, the user, the option of two-factor authentication, always sign up for it.
Okay.
Because it's a bit inconvenient, but it's a very strong protection. There's a lot of nonsense about strong passwords, and I do use the word nonsense very deliberately. That's advice from 1979. And you think about how the computer industry has changed since 1979.
Yes.
You realize that it's not nearly that simple. What's really bad is reusing passwords. Not picking a weak password,
Okay.
but reusing passwords. Since you can't possibly remember a few hundred strong passwords,
Yes.
and sites will insist on strong passwords, use a password manager. There are free ones, there are for pay ones. Use one. These will keep track of your passwords for you. And if nothing else, just use a book or a piece of paper. As a caveat, that's a little risky if you don't trust somebody in your household, but pick a random password, write it down, or use a technical password manager. There are password managers available for all popular platforms. They work. I've been using them for many years. They're the best idea. Strong passwords, it doesn't hurt, but it's really not the weak point. That's what users should do. As for regulators, I'm personally a big fan of liability. Now, regulators can impose liability.
Yes.
It's an interesting. Liability for software flaws turns out to be an extremely complicated question. I'd like to see it, but it turns out to be far more complicated than I thought it was going to be. But certainly, companies can be careless, and if they're liable, they have the incentive to do things right. In the U.S., if a company is careless about its technical security,
Yes.
a regulator, the Federal Trade Commission, can take action against this company for being careless.
Yes.
But again, if you have liability, then they've got the incentive. Now, again, liability is a very complicated question.
Sure.
And I call myself a genuine fake lawyer in the United States. I know nothing of the Korean legal system. I won't pretend that I do.
Okay.
But it's not going to be easy. Very often, the terms of service for a site will say, we're not liable. Well, regulators and legislators could do something about that.
Sure.
If somebody suffers harm because the company was careless, the company has to be held liable because they're the ones in a position to do something.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
about 15 years ago, a company that was then called Twitter was breached. There was all kinds of nasty stuff happening because it was an administrator account that was breached. And U.S. regulators came down hard on them because administrators did not use two-factor authentication and were not properly trained in security.
Yes.
So they had to do better.
I see. Well, Professor, I do want to thank you for your time, your expertise, shedding light on this difficult issue that we're grappling with right now here in Korea. But thanks for your time. We do appreciate it.
Quite welcome. Again, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Once again, this was Professor Stephen Bellavin, and we talked about South Korea's record e-commerce data breach. So once again, please check your accounts to make sure there are no unauthorized logins, and we'll be back with traffic and weather.
Good morning. Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan. Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan. Morning Wave in Busan.
It's time for your traffic report. There's an accident on Kijangdaedo from Chwacheon intersection to Yongso three-way intersection. Right before Yongso intersection, that's where the accident is. Next up, Gwanmundaedo is congested from Sujang Tunnel to Pier number 5. It's also backed up on Mandakdaedo from Mandak Tunnel number 2 to Mandak intersection. And there is traffic on Pyeonglo from Kumsa ramp to Suyang Tunnel. Currently, it is 9 degrees Celsius under clear skies. It's going to go up to just 11 today. There is a dry weather special report issued across Busan with bad find us levels. Across the nation, much colder with near zero temperatures in the central Jeonbuk and Gyeongbuk areas. Dry air and strong winds in Gangwon, Gyeongbuk, and Gyeongnam regions, so please be careful when handling fire or if you are outdoors. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for Wagle Tea Time with Haley. She's back.
Don't mind me, I'm just changing all of my passwords.
I know, because
I have 2 that I cycle, and I thought I was really smart because I have one really strong one that I use for everything. But apparently that's 1979 thinking.
I know. So I was getting nervous.
I'm so stressed out, you guys.
Listening to the professor, I was like, in my head, I was like, I was speaking to him, but at the back of my mind, I was like, I gotta change my passwords again.
Can we just cut the interview short because we have passwords to change?
Yeah. Not back to the old ones. Don't recycle. Ooh. Okay. So now that we have to dive into our real stories for Wagle. Oh, like I said in the opening, a doozy of a weekend because there were so many celebrity stories that broke, and I'm not talking about like the dating story or rumors of such.
Those are
right
there too.
Yeah, but the ones that have really incited controversy and even legal issues in the past couple of days, we're going to begin with actor Cho Jin-woong.
Right, so accusations came out, and it was all over throughout the weekend. Starting on Friday, that well-known actor Cho Jin-woong was allegedly involved in, quote, serious crimes during his juvenile, when he was a minor. So Dispatch reported that the now 49-year-old actor, he was involved in this car theft and allegedly sexual assault. And because of these issues, served time in a juvenile detention center. In Korean, that's 소년원. And this then raised allegations that is that why he changed his name. He uses a stage name, Cho Jin-woong, which is actually his father's real name.
Right.
The actor's real name is Cho Won-jun. Dispatch also reported that even after he began his acting career, Cho was allegedly involved in assault cases and even drunk driving.
Well, what has the actor said about all of this?
Right. So in terms of the accuracy of individual claims, we don't know. However, a day later, his agency, Saram Entertainment, said they've confirmed with the actor that he had engaged in, quote, misconduct during his teenage years.
Okay.
But they said since it's been over 30 years, it's hard to figure out the exact details. However, they drew the line at sexual assault. They said those claims were completely false.
Well, on the same day, he announced that he's going to retire.
Right. So later in the day, Cho Jin-woong issued a statement via his agency apologizing for disappointing those who have supported him and trusted him with his past affairs. Cho said he accepts the criticism and he will end his acting career. Cho stated that this was him taking responsibility for his past actions and said he will use the time to self-reflect and he could be a better person.
Okay.
And this brought shockwaves across the industry because he is a prolific actor and he's had multiple projects lined up, including an SBS documentary series. The first episode already aired, which he narrated. Apparently, the broadcasting company is scrapping the rest of the episodes and re-narrating them using a different individual and will air them later. Another one, the TV series Signal. The TVN series Signal 2 apparently just wrapped up filming and it was due to be released next year. We don't know if they're going to edit him out, refilm, the logistics with how long it took for the second season to launch. would be a nightmare.
Yes. So that's on one side, but this whole incident also raises questions about disclosing sealed information on a person's juvenile history.
Keep in mind, we don't know where the source came from. Was it just like rumors that were followed up on, or was his juvenile record actually unsealed? Because juvenile records are strictly sealed. You actually need a judge's ruling to be able to unseal them.
Yes.
Because the whole point of the juvenile detention system is not less to punish, but to correct behavior at a young age, second chances, as you mentioned in the opening, to help these young people develop as productive adults.
Right.
So some jurists and experts say that, if the actor, whatever punishment he received, then he already served his time as a minor. This shouldn't follow not only him, but anyone into adulthood.
Okay.
So these jurists and some social activists say that Cho's case could actually serve as an exemplary case to other at-risk youth about, hey, you can turn your life around. But then to kind of bury his career would go the opposite way.
Okay.
Others say to look at the situation from the victim's view. It's not that we are, ending their social lives or, putting them back in jail. However, to have people who perpetrated crimes be in such public eye could be traumatizing to the victims all over again.
Yes. So that's hence the controversy. It's a tough story to kind of digest. And then we have another one. Comedian Park Dare is facing lawsuits from her former managers.
Right, and the lawsuits are now going both ways, but Park's former managers accused the comedian of workplace harassment against the staff, including verbal abuse and assault, as well as demanding that they do tasks unrelated to her official capacity as a comedian.
Yes.
Reports also say that the two former managers submitted a complaint to the police for embezzlement allegations against Park Dare. So their claim is that Park allegedly falsely registered an ex-boyfriend as well as her mother at her single-person agency, N-Park, and paid him a monthly salary and also her mother, along with other alleged personal usage of company funds.
I see.
This prompted the police to open an investigation into Park and booked her after they received a complaint for special bodily injury and for violation of the law on popular culture and arts industry development.
And what has Park said about the accusations?
Right, so her company N-Park issued a statement saying that they're looking into the facts, but they also say that these two employees, they've already quit and they've also received a severance package. They worked there for about a year and 3 months. However, even after they received the payments, these two allegedly demanded more money, equating to 10% of the company's previous year's earnings. And then also, according to the company, put pressure on the comedian and the firm. So Park's side argues that the embezzlement allegations are false and therefore filed countersuits against these two former managers for extortion or 공갈.
Yes. So there you have it. Very noisy weekend. Well, let's move on. The CSAT scores are out, the 수능 scores, and we know that only 5 test takers have gotten a perfect score. So we have some tips from these test takers.
Right, which, by the way, last year, the number of perfect score getters was, I believe, 11. So this is even half, and this having been such a 불수능, even more impressive. So let's get some tips from these young adults on how to remain calm and collected. So one was Wang Jonggon of Gwangnam High School in Seoul. And this is notable because it's the first non-private/elite school to get 2 perfect score getters in a row. One from last year and one from this year. So young Mr. Wang said, maintaining your biorhythm, your condition was the most important. Interestingly, this is why he picked this public school because it was walking distance from his home and he just wanted to walk closer. He has applied to early admissions to top medical schools and he says he wants to be an international doctor. He's been inspired by what's been happening in the Israel-Palestine war, so he wants to help people who are in need. But also because he's, 18? He wants to date once he gets to college. Which, as you should.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Another top score getter, Lee Ha-jin from Jeonju's Hanil High School, says that he thinks he was lucky that he got the perfect score. Trust me, it's not just luck. But he focused on public education. Yes, he did go to Hagwon, but just 3 months of math private academy this year.
Wow.
I know. Kids, block your moms and dad's ears because they're probably not happy. So he actually no, open their ears back up and turn the volume up. The perfect score getter emphasizes rest. 쉬래요. 잠도 많이 자고. And self-directed studying. He read a lot though. As a kid, got his first cell phone in high school. We're not talking smartphone, but just cell phone in high school. He gets at least 7 hours of sleep, even played video games to de-stress.
Yes.
So yeah, you can sleep for 7 hours and play video games and get a perfect score in the 수능. Just don't have a cell phone, I guess.
Apparently. So all through the weekend amongst all the parents, that was like the most talked about topic.
Should we get rid of the cell
phones? Get rid of the phone. and people always ask me like, oh, your kids did pretty well. Like, what did you do? I'm like, but limiting that phone time is really important. That's a whole different day for a whole different discussion, but really, it is key. So this bit about reading is actually a repeat message.
Right. So Choi Jang-woo from Gwangju Seosuk High School also emphasized that he read a lot in elementary and middle school, and this increases reading comprehension.
Yes.
He also watches streaming services, OTTs, to de-stress and engage in extracurricular activities. He's actually the school's president and chairs the Gwangju Student Council.
Yes.
He wants to go to civil services and contribute to the country's future.
Yay. So these
This makes
young
me feel
kids.
so good about the future generation.
Right.
Yeah.
And I certainly hope that whatever test score your kids got, be supportive. Okay.
Of course.
Yes. All right. Let's end on a positive note. The capital area saw heavy snow last week with a lot of people stuck in traffic, one of which was a cancer patient.
Right. I mean, can you imagine, speaking of scary situations to drive in, that much snow could cause anyone to panic, including this woman in her 50s who was recovering from cancer surgery. So Seoul Susa police received a call on Friday around 9:30 p.m. that this driver, her hands were shaking, she couldn't breathe. So the patrol car went to the scene, but because of traffic, they actually couldn't get into it with the car.
Sure.
So the police officers got out, walked to the vehicle, and deemed that, yes, she was not in a state to drive. So one officer got into the driver's seat, drove the woman out of the Dongbu Ganseondoro, the urban expressway, the very crowded area. She did manage to calm down after a bit and was able to drive herself home.
Oh, good.
Because I know there was a lot of controversy, a lot of people unhappy about like the state of Tesar, the snow removal, the snow plowing on the roads. But on the same day, a post came up on the police station's website from a parent who said that they were stuck on the roads for hours with their child. But thanks to the police officers who cleared the snow in front of them, they all were able to get home safely.
Good news. Good stories to end on. So we're going to call it a wrap for the tea-worthy stories, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
All right, we have a song request from a souvenir-님 who says 초보 운전하니 생각나는 노래예요. So here it is. This is 신호등 by 이무진.
이제야 목적지 정했지만 가려한 날 막아서 내 난 갈 길이 뭔데 새빨간 얼굴로 화를 냈던 친구가 생각나네 이미 난 발걸음을 뗐지만 가려한 날 재촉하네 걷기도 힘든데 새파랗게 겁에 질려 도망간 친구가 되면 도네 건반처럼 생긴 도로 위에 수많은 동그라미들 모두가 멈췄다 굴렀단 말은 잘 들어 그건 나도 문제가 아냐 푸른색 그 사이 3초 그 짧은 시간 노란색 빛을 내는 저기 저 신호등이 내 머릿속을 탕 비워버렸네 그 빠른지도 느린지 모르겠어 말하자면 차라리 운전대를 못 잡던 어릴 때가 더 좋았었던 것 같아. 그때나 함께 온 세상을 거닌 친구가 있었으니 건반처럼 생긴 도로 위에 수많은 조명들이 날 빠르게 번갈아가며 비추고 있지만 난 아직 초짜란 말이야. 붉은색, 푸른색 그 사이 3초 그 짧은 시간 노란색 빛을 내는 저기서 신호등이 내 머릿속을 텅 비워버려. 내가 빠른지도 느린지도 모르겠어. 그저 눈앞이 샛노랄 뿐이야. 꼬질꼬질한 사람이나 부자 곁엔 아무도 없는 삼색 조명과 이 색칠 위에 서있어 괴롭히지 마. 붉은색 푸른색 그 사이 3초 그 짧은 시간 노란색 빛을 내는 저기서 신호등이 내 머릿속을 텅 비워버려. 내가 빠른지도 느린지도 모르겠어. 그저 눈앞이 샛노랄 뿐이야.
It's time for News in Depth. We have Claire in the studio. Let's say hi first. Happy Monday.
Good morning.
Yes, yes. Oh, that sweater looks so good on you.
Thank you.
Brightening up your already luminous
morning.
face. Yes. Well, let's start with this story. This is a follow-up story, actually, but it's regarding the whole the IP camera hacking case, where the number of compromised devices looked huge already. But the latest government findings suggest that the scale and the impact are far beyond what anyone expected, right?
They really are. The updated numbers show that roughly 120,000 IP cameras were hacked. And this wasn't limited to low security environments. These cameras were inside people's homes, hospitals, massage parlors, changing rooms, even small businesses that thought their internal CCTV was completely isolated.
Right. And I think this is a reminder for everybody out there that these devices are everywhere now, whether it's the baby monitors, the home security cams, fitness centers, clinics, you name it, they're
exactly.
there. Yes.
And that's why this case hits such a nerve. Police arrested 4 suspects, and 2 of them alone created material that accounted for 62% of videos on a major overseas illegal site.
Sure.
Just to give you a sense of scale, if you looked at this site, entire database of uploaded exploitation footage, more than half was coming from these hacked Korean cameras.
Yes, and that is enormous. Yet, only a small number of videos were actually found during the investigation, I hear.
Right. Authorities recovered almost about 1,200 videos that had actually been posted or sold.
Okay.
But compare that with 120,000 compromised devices, and you immediately see the problem here. The posted footage is the tip of the iceberg. Many recordings may have been stored offline, never uploaded, or sold through private channels, meaning the actual leakage is likely much larger.
Right, and that uncertainty must be a part of why the government is now treating this as a systemic vulnerability rather than maybe just like a standalone criminal activity.
Exactly. Officials say the core issue isn't just individual criminals. It's that the entire security architecture surrounding IP cameras has gaps at multiple stages. installations, user behavior, and the monitoring of network connections.
Yes. So let's walk through how these gaps are formed. I mean, where did things go wrong?
A nationwide review in October revealed something striking. Only 59% of installation companies were performing the required security checks to prevent hacking. That means over 40% were installing cameras without implementing basic protections such as password resets, encryption settings, or firewall configurations.
Yes, and users also weren't updating their devices, correct?
Yes, correct. About 81% did change the default password at least once.
Okay.
But only about 31% updated their password within the last 6 months. And in cybersecurity, a password that never changes might as well be a weak password.
I see. So you essentially had, vulnerable installation practices and also vulnerable end user habits, meaning consumers, all together.
Indeed. And that combination created a situation where a large-scale hack became possible.
Okay.
Now the government is responding with a multi-layered overhaul.
So let's break that down because the measures seem to span everything from regulation to on-site inspections.
They do. Here's the expanded response. First, legal obligations for high-risk businesses.
Okay.
So bathhouses, lodging facilities, clinics with operating rooms and massage parlors, places where camera footage is exceptionally sensitive will receive official notices explaining their security obligations under the Personal Information Protection Act. And in cases where major leaks occurred, authorities will open investigations into whether these businesses violated legal safety requirements.
So this isn't just guidance. This could lead to penalties.
Exactly. Violations of safety obligations can carry fines or operational restrictions. And second one would be joint national local inspections beginning this month. Teams from ministry and local governments will physically visit vulnerable businesses, which would be hospitals, massage clinics, treatment centers to examine installation practices, firmware versions, and whether password policies are being enforced.
Yes. And so it seems that many of these products are made overseas.
Yes, that's the challenge. A significant portion of IP cameras sold in camera are designed or manufactured in countries like China. Applying Korean password rules or firmware standards to those devices could prove difficult unless the government mandates compliance as a condition for import.
I see. So, it does seem like, time's going to be needed, but it's such a major story. And thanks for the follow-up. We do appreciate it, Claire.
No.
All right, let's move on to our next story. This is regarding the coupon data leak story from a different angle. It has a lot of people on edge. And now it seems like the scammers are taking full advantage of that fear. So what are police seeing right now?
So police say they're seeing a fast, targeted shift in phishing tactics, and the common thread is the same. They're using the anxiety created by the coupon incident to make people panic and respond quickly. The newest method blends a familiar scam, the fake credit card issuance scam, with language referencing the coupon leak.
Oh, I see. So scammers are kind of framing the leak as kind of like a justification for something suspicious.
Indeed. Here's how it typically starts. A call comes in claiming a credit card has been issued in your name. And when the person say they didn't apply for one, the scammer responds with something like, this may be related to the coupon data leak, so you may need to verify immediately. At that moment, the victim's guard drops because it sounds like a real-world event they've already been hearing about.
And that urgency is exactly what scammers are relying on.
That's exactly right. And next, they direct the victim to call a customer service number.
Sure.
But that number obviously is a fake number. When the victim calls, a second scammer answers in a professional tone and says they need to run a security check for malware. Then tells the victim to install the remote control app. Once that app is installed, the phone is essentially taken over.
Oh, no.
The scammers can access banking apps, messages, authentication codes, everything.
And people fall for it more easily because they think it's connected to that leak.
Yes, and that's the key development. The scam is designed so the victim feels the sequence is logical. So there are big data leak, an unauthorized card, urgent verification is needed. Police have also spotted a second pattern. Text messages claiming deliveries are delayed or missing due to coupon incident, followed by a link. If someone taps that link, malicious software installs, often disguised as a shipping tracking tool.
So scammers are hitting both, with voice calls and text messages.
Exactly. And both rely on exploiting the same emotional trigger, uncertainty after the leak. Now, police are stressing one important point. There are still no verified secondary financial damage cases that can be directly attributed to the coupon leak itself.
Right.
But they're worried because these new methods show scammers adjusting extremely quickly.
So, how are authorities responding?
So the National Response Team is doing a few things simultaneously, monitoring real-time reports of phishing attempts, blocking suspicious numbers as soon as citizens report them, coordinating with the Science Ministry, KISA, and the financial regulator to prevent any snowball effect.
Yes.
They're essentially trying to get ahead of anything that might emerge as a true second wave impact of the leak.
Yes. And lastly, we want another safety reminder. So
all the users are usual ones, but even more critical now. Never ever click links from unknown numbers.
Sure.
Never ever call back numbers sent by text. And remember, government agencies and financial institutions do not never ask you to install apps through text or phone conversations.
That's right.
Police say if a message or call references the coupon leak and tries to push you into fast action, that's a strong red flag.
Yes, once again, so we need to do everything to, slow down these types of unscrupulous scammers. Yes. All right, let's move on to our next story. International news. The U.S.-Ukraine talks in Florida have been underway for several days, and now President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, has shared new updates. So what's the latest?
So these talks are gaining momentum, and Zelensky's comments give us the clearest picture yet of what's happening behind the scenes. So on the 6th, he said he held a long, substantive call with the U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, both part of the U.S. diplomatic team involved in the ongoing discussions.
Yes.
Zelensky said the call focused on how Ukraine and the United States should coordinate the next step toward achieving what he called genuine peace.
And this is happening while negotiators from both sides are sitting down in Florida, correct?
Exactly. The two teams have been meeting in Florida since the 4th, and today marks their third day of talks. These aren't symbolic meetings. They're discussing two big themes. First one is a possible roadmap for ending the war.
Okay.
The second one was the long-term security structure that Ukraine would need after the war. Both sides emphasize that real progress depends on Russia, obviously.
That's right.
Specifically, whether Moscow shows any willingness to de-escalate and halt attacks.
That's right. And, President Zelensky seems cautious, but also, I guess, optimistic enough to stay engaged.
That's a good way to put it. Zelensky called the conversation constructive and focused, and said many sensitive issues were addressed, including how to ensure a complete end to the fighting and how to prevent what he called a third invasion in the future.
Okay.
And how to deal with Russia's history of not following through on commitments. But he also stressed that not everything can be discussed over the phone.
Right.
He's waiting for a detailed in-person briefing from Ukraine's delegation led by National Security and Defense Council Secretary Rustem Umerov.
Yes. So thank you for the latest on what's happening with the war in Ukraine. And of course, we look to the future for any changes in that situation. Thank you for the news. We'll check in with you next week. Thank you, Claire.
See you next week. Bye.
All right. Well, we went through so many stories on this Monday morning. And in terms of the coupon story, I'm sure as we progress through the week, there will be further updates. For any and all news stories, I want to give a big shout out to, of course, not just our producer, but our writers and to the people that come in, Haley and Claire, that do such good work on following up on the story. So we give you the latest information on what is unfolding. So we're going to call it a day for today. A big shout out once again to our producer, Cho Ye-ji, our assistant producer, Kang Hee-jin, our writers, Haley Seo and Soo Kim. I'm your host, Catherine. I'll be back to do it all over again tomorrow. Here is I'll Be There by Jackson 5. Enjoy this one on this Monday morning. Bye, everybody.